Good morning, everybody. Wanda and I are both back out here this morning. We just shoved a big beam out of the way. It's beam number 2 that we had to build. We did get it built yesterday evening. Didn't think we was going to, but weather held off and we was able to do it before dark got here, so that this morning we would have it ready to put up. Well, actually, we got to do some cutting on it and finish it up. We didn't actually finish the whole beam. We still got a couple things to do to it. We got to cut it to length. We got to notch this end up here. A few things we got to do, and then we're going to nail a board down the top of it like we did the front one to keep the water out of it. And we're going to try in this little tight space right here with the tractor to have room to lift this thing up and get it into position, because there's no way Wanda and I can lift this beam. It's just too heavy. We're not going to be able to do it at its length. So we're going to try to get it picked up with the tractor. Now, this beam here is not as thick as the other one was. This one's only 2 laminated 2x12s with some plywood between them. And then a 2x4 down the top of it, like I said. We've got a little trimming up to do, guys, because lumber nowadays, one end of it's 11 1/4, the other end's 11 1/2. I mean, I'm just a little picky. I'm gonna have to take a skill saw and run down the whole top of the beam and make sure I get it good and smooth, so when I put my 2x4 on it, it's sitting level. Because I may have to have it in the attic to do some bracing off of or stuff, and I want it to be right, you know. And you're probably gonna hear the cows in the background. I turned them into the new front pond again to let them eat some more of the green grass down. The ryegrass continued to grow, so the freeze didn't kill it. And you hear the neighbor's bull across the field. He's screaming at them. I don't know why he's got a whole herd of cows over himself, but it's just what bulls do. You know, it's what they do. So in the video, you may hear the cows and the neighbor's cows, and hey guys, that's just farm life.
Almost still on the board. It's there. Okay. Let's see how close we are. an inch.
Alright, even though I notched this beam to go on top of this, technically I don't have to have a hanger, but I'm one of these kind that we live in a hurricane zone. I would rather go ahead and spend the extra few bucks for this type, and this is a heavy duty, heavy steel hanger here. I would rather go ahead and put it in and have it, because you never know what might happen, and this is just extra support, and I am all about all the extra support that you can get during construction. Okay guys, it's break time for us again. We've got the big old beam up. Now this one was a challenge. It took some doing to get that tractor in here with that beam in here, because the tractor is 15 feet long with the forks on it, and the beam is 15 feet from this back wall. So we had to actually slide the back beam all the way out the back of the building, the big beam, get the tractor in here and get it situated, manhandle that beam and get it back up on the forks and slide it back to where it needed to be, and then we still had to screw around with it a little bit to get it up there, but we managed.
And it didn't hurt us.
No.
But it was just tedious till we got it in place.
Yeah.
So both big beams are up. We're thankful. It wasn't that big of a challenge. It's just a little tractor work.
It's just tractor work. I mean, that's what I told her. I said, I'm so thankful that we built this thing the size that we did, because if we had not, there is no way we could have got that tractor in here, and there's no way we could have got the beam up.
We'd have had to have help.
Well, we could have done it like my daddy used to do. My daddy used to do like a stepping ladder. He would put things on the wall. I've watched my daddy put big old huge oak beams up on top of a shop that he was building right by himself, simply by using big giant nails, and he would pick that beam up and move it on one end, go on the other end, and move it up. He walked it up all the way to the top. I've watched him do that when I was a kid.
And that was the next step if we hadn't
that would have been the next step, yeah. So, and me, I would have just nailed 2x4s on the wall every 2 foot apart, where I could have left them sticking out, where I could have picked the beam out and moved it up onto the next one. I would have done that all the way up it. Because I could have got the tractor on this end down here, or I could have put a ladder down here, or a scaffold. You know, I could have made this end work. It was the inside that I had problems, would have had problems with. So.
And you've already done a header over the...
I just got through installing the header over the main entrance going into where the ramp is there. I got to put the rest of the headers up over the doors in here, and then put I call them liners. Some people call them jack studs. I got to put them in, and then I can finish putting all the top plates on. And once I do that, it's just a matter of getting the rest of it braced up like it needs to be. Then I'm going to start cutting in the purlins to go around the outside of it, so that it'll be ready for metal, house wrap, whatever I'm going to put around the outside of it can be done, and it will help to strengthen it and stiffen it up with those purlins inset into those 2x6s. We'll show you that process when we get there.
And I'm headed to the greenhouse. I got green beans in December to pick. So I've got hot chocolate and a banana nut muffin. He's got sweet potato dessert and some hot chocolate. We're going to break for a little bit while he's doing the little nitpicky things around here. I'm going to do my greenhouse picking, and we'll get back and show you some of the stuff he gets done, and we'll be back to work this afternoon together probably.
Probably, but you know the most amazing thing about all that we're doing here is that Wanda's picking Cherokee yellow wax beans, Contender green beans, Blue Lake green beans, all a couple of weeks before Christmas.
And I've got English peas that'll need picking maybe by Christmas.
Probably by Christmas we'll be picking English peas. Now guys, I mean, this is the first time in my life I've ever done this. Now I've picked butter beans before up till Christmas, but this is the first time we've ever had fresh green beans and stuff like that, English peas and all.
In the winter.
In the winter months. So You know, this ain't just about a she shed. This is about life on a homestead. Guys, it's doable. And that's what we're trying to show everybody, is that it is doable. It can be done. So, we're going to finish up our snacks, and we will see y'all in a few minutes.
I don't know if I can. My arms reach quite that tall, but it might.
I gotta get it in the right position here. Okay. Alright guys, we're around here. As you can see right here, I have popped chalk lines down the entire wall. And then I came back with the skill saw on this one, right here. And I made like 2 or 3 cuts in it, maybe 4 cuts. I set my saw at 1.5 inches deep and just ran it back and forth across it. And I'll come along with the hammer now, and I just kind of tap them, and they break out. And then I have a chisel. I'll just come back with a chisel, clean up any little bit that didn't knock out. And then what you'll want to do after this, as soon as you get it cleaned up, you always want to keep a little piece of 2x4 with you or something of that nature. And then you just want to stick it in there and see it fits. It's flush out here. It goes in the hole. And this, what's going to happen is when we get all these done down the entire wall, we'll cut a 2x4 to fit in there, and that 2x4 will nail to the right here. Then it'll nail in each one of these studs that I'm going to be knocking out. I have one done around on the other side of the building here. I can show you what it looks like. This is one here that I've already notched in right here all the way down this whole wall. This is the reason we chose 2x6 walls on this particular build here, is so we got room to notch it out. And code says you can't take out over 1/3 of your wood going through a stud, so we went with 2x6s, so when we notched in the 2x4s, we still have plenty of wood left on the inside of the stud to meet codes.
And what is this called? And what?
It's called a purling, and the reason we're putting these purlings on here is we're going, when we put our metal on this wall, there'll be one here and there'll be another one up above it. I'll be able to screw my metal down at the bottom. I'll be able to screw it right across here. I'll be able to screw it on the next line, and I'll be able to screw it at the top. And that will that gives me somewhere to screw my my metal on the outside of my building off to. It becomes a wooden purlin on the inside of the building. Well guys, we're about to call it a day. I got, like you saw in the beginning, we got the big beam set. I got in, all the headers are all in, all the top plates are all in. I started putting the purlins all the way around and almost made it around the whole thing. I got to right here and I just ran out of energy. So, and plus it's fixing to be 4 o'clock in the evening, to be dark in an hour. It takes a little time to clean up and pick up tools, cover up lumber, stuff like that. So it'll take me a little while to do that. So tomorrow morning, hopefully we'll jump in here and knock this a little bit out. Then comes the challenge. We start putting on the ceiling joists. We got to get all that laid out, and we'll be ready to start putting our ceiling joists up. Then after that will come the rafters. So guys, it's going to take a little while. We're probably going to have to set scaffolding up all in here so that it makes it a little bit easier on us. We're going to do whatever we got to do to make it as easy as possible. So hang in there with us. Watch the next video. Thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.